Immaculate is a 2024 film starring Sydney Sweeney, who also produced the film and was heavily involved in the development of the project. The movie tells the story of Sister Cecilia, played by Sydney Sweeney, a newly professed nun who moves into a remote Italian convent to take up new duties. As she navigates her way through her new life in this convent, Cecilia is faced with a series of mysterious and unsettling events like getting pregnant. Although she's never had sex in her entire life, she's pregnant, which makes the church believe that this is a miracle and she is the Mother Mary. This is Immaculate Conception. She just was given this child. Cecilia is confused and doesn't understand why God would choose her to be the mother of his child. And what unravels is this mystery and this conspiracy as she's trying to figure out if she was actually impregnated through the Immaculate Conception or if something more sinister is lurking around the corner within this convent. And of course, there is something more evil lurking around. Immaculate is similar to The First Omen. I believe Sydney Sweeney was working on this film for 10 years. I think she auditioned for it, nothing ever happened, so she bought the script, she reworked the script, and then she picked the director, and she wanted to star in it, and she produced the entire thing. So she's been working on this for a while, so this is her movie. I've not seen Sydney Sweeney in anything else. I was going to go see Madam Web, and we decided not to go see that. So I have not seen her in anything at all besides that outfit on SNL. And everyone was like, oh my God, look at this girl. So that's all I know her from. I don't know her from anything else but this movie. I will say, had I seen this movie prior to seeing The First Omen, I think I would have liked this movie a lot more than The First Omen. Although I still have some issues with this film. But basically, the only issue I have with it is I'm not understanding. I mean, I understand it's very hard to explain. So there is going to be spoilers here. Okay, so I'm kind of like perplexed. I like the movie. I think the gore was good. They do have jump scares. Every horror movie's going to have jump scares from now on. They are annoying. I dislike them, but I somehow like them more here than I did in The First Omen. This movie's gorier. I love gore. I think she's a great actress, actually, in this. I think the other girl in The First Omen was a good actress too, so I have no problem with the actresses. And the fact that knowing that she actually developed this project, she would have to be, because she's been working on this for 10 years, so she really wanted this. So I think she did a good job. Now, let's say the story. Okay, I told you what the story was. Is it Immaculate Conception? Spoiler alert. Here we go. If you don't want to be spoiled, here's a spoiler alert. No, it's not. It is this church or this covenant, one of the priests there, or the priest there, you see, it's kind of weird because at one point you think it's a secret society because they wear these masks and they're doing these things that aren't like what church would do, but yet they're all doing it in the name of the church. So that's the only part I disliked about, that's one part I disliked about it. It's like, if it was like, I don't know, just different. Like a little, tweak that a little bit different, because I don't know. It feels like they're, I don't know. I didn't like that part. Well, another couple of other things I'll say before I go into the spoilers totally. This movie reminds me of Midsommar, maybe because it's a scene where they actually dress her up as the Mother Mary at one point, and she's just standing there like soulless and lifeless, and she doesn't understand, and she's confused, and just like all life in her is gone because she doesn't understand, it's a beautiful scene for her, and dressed like that. That was an interesting take. It's blasphemous, you know. Some people say that's blasphemy, but I thought it was very interesting, and I liked it. And I liked how she was playing it like she's just like dead inside. And also, it made me. There was similar scenes of the little town or the little convent or whatever, because there's a scene in the beginning, the intro, which is pretty cool. But with this other girl that I guess they tried to do this thing to, and she didn't work. So, but the town, this little thing reminded me of Outlast Part 2 and like the first few minutes of Resident Evil 4, that little village. But anyway, so those are things I liked, and her acting. And I liked it. It felt scarier to me, maybe because it was more, I don't know, I liked it more than The First Omen. I did like it more than The First Omen. The problem I have is with the ending. I'm confused and I don't really understand, but I kind of do get it in a way, but then I don't. Okay, so they have one of the nails that was used to crucify Jesus. They found, or they say that this is the one, and they found bones and blood on it. Now they're not sure this is the actual one. They're just assuming it is. So from that bone and blood, they were trying to, through genetics, resurrect Jesus in a new way by impregnating women to see if they can get Jesus. This idea is interesting. I like the idea. They tried it on several women. I don't know why they're trying it on old women though, because there's some old women that have the markings on their feet that they give her, which is they brand her with the crucifix on the bottom of her feet once she finds out that this is what they're doing, because this one girl starts going off in Italian, going crazy, because I guess she knew what they were doing. So they take her away, and one night she wakes up for some reason and she's trying to find out all these things about her. It's very good. I like the atmosphere. I like the directing. I like the cinematography. I like the gore. I like the scares. I like the premise. I like the torture that they do to some of the characters in here. I like this movie a lot more than The First Omen. I will say that. That's right there. The ending. Okay, not going to go into everything, but at the end of the movie, she gives birth. She does give birth. And it's a very dramatic and powerful scene, and it reminded me, for some reason, of Mia Goth at the end of Pearl, where she's just staring at this. It's just a different type of torture. At the end of Pearl, Mia Goth's just staying there smiling as her husband comes home, and she's just smiling and holding that smile, not blinking the entire time, and tears are coming down her face, and they just hold it there. This is much different, where it's just Sydney Sweeney's face as she's screaming through giving birth, looking straight into the camera the entire time, just screaming and going through this pain. And it's very, very effective and very, very raw and very, very dramatic. It made me very, very anxious too, watching this, and uncomfortable, unsettling. It was great. It was great. That one scene, that frame, just her face and her screaming into the camera with blood all over herself because she got away. She had to do all these crazy things, and it's not her blood on her, but it's just great. It's fantastic. This is a very, very good scene. And then you hear that the baby falls. Now, people are telling me, see, this is the problem I have, okay? I'm being told by people that the baby wasn't normal. It was deformed. Okay. But I didn't hear. They said, oh, you could hear the baby's not, but I don't know. The baby could have, when it fell, it could have hit his head. I don't know. I'm not getting that sense. And also what she does after. Spoiler alert. She looks at the baby. She doesn't have a reaction like it's deformed. She doesn't look like scared. She doesn't get shocked or do anything. So it's kind of keeping you wondering. Then she walks over, grabs this huge rock, and then goes and stands over it, and then screams and kills it. And we cut to black. So we never get to see what the kid actually looks like. So we're just supposed to assume that it was born deformed. People saying you could hear the sound. I didn't hear it. I missed it. I must have missed it. I'm sorry. I should watch it again to see, but I did not hear that. I'm going to try to watch it again to see. But my reaction just finishing watching it, I did not hear that. And even if he did, it could have been him hitting the floor, or it being, sometimes when babies are born, they have fluids in their nose and in their throats that the doctors have to get out. So it could have been a gargling or something like that because it couldn't breathe. Okay, so the issues I'm having with this movie is that I know there is a scene where she does denounce God because of this church. But if she was a faithful Christian, Catholic, whatever, and she wanted to become a nun, ever since she was a young girl when she had this experience where she believes God saved her, I don't understand how all those years of faith in God and the Bible and everything that led her to go to this covenant or whatever, how I don't understand what they're doing and these representatives of this church is doing. And that did make her, renounce or denounce God because of the representatives of this church's representatives, because of what they're trying to do. I understand that, but I can't see all those years prior. And yes, they did torture her, and they were doing this, and I don't see how she comes to that conclusion at the end with the baby, unless it was see, that's the only issue. If it was like the spawn of Satan instead of God, but the God thing makes it more interesting. It's unique, it's different. It's not like it's, another Satan child. Like if it was the spawn of Satan, yeah. But I mean, we don't even know what it actually is, because that blood could have been anything. They could have made a mutant child. It couldn't even be human. It could have been fucking something else. That's the interesting part. Now, I don't understand her. And then, because there's another scene too on top of that where she asks the priest like help and saying what they're doing is, you know, immoral, right? And you know, God wouldn't like this, or God wouldn't want you to do this or whatever. And then the priest says something like, well, if God wouldn't want us to do this, why hasn't he stopped us? Right? But then she is the one, the vessel that gets them to stop. She's the hero, the heroine at the end. She stops it. She's the one. God through her stopped all of this from happening, although she still has to give birth. But they can't do it anymore to any other women, because after this child was born, let's say it was deformed, they're going to kill the child, they're going to kill her. So they would do it to somebody else. So that's only if the kid came out deformed, and we don't know, so it's ambiguous. We have to just imagine for ourselves if it really was deformed or not. So I'm just stuck there, where not knowing, like, even I understand all the torture and everything she went through, why she would denounce God. Yes, I get it. But the end with the child being born, you actually gave birth to it. Because we don't know what it actually looked like, I don't think people could say she's showing mercy if it was deformed, okay. But I don't know. I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck there. That's just me. I'm just stuck. I'm sorry. I'm just stuck. So anyway, but besides that one part, I like this movie very much, surprisingly. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I don't know. It could have been, if they just, I don't know. If she actually took the thing, even if it was a mongoloid like Jason Voorhees, and she would have like not did what she did, and she would have taken it, and then it would have been like, oh, there's still hope. She still has hope but no, they said no, screw it, screw religion altogether. So that's the only negative part about it. And let me address the elephant in the room before we end. The reason why I'm flustered with my talking and not wanting to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. This is an anti-religious film. It's an anti-Christian film or anti-Catholic film. You could say, no, it's not. It's not. It is. It's a pro-abortion film, especially with the ending, because it's a woman denouncing her religion, because the religion does all these things to her, oppresses her, and does all these things to her, and gives her a child in her and tells her she has to have the kid, all these things, and at the end, she kills the kid after birth. So yes, it is what it is. That's maybe the hard time I'm having to come to terms with, because as I said, the baby could have been alive. It could have, we're left to our own imagination to determine if she sacrificed the kid's life because it was born deformed, or if she was just angry and did not want to have this child put into her unwillingly, and she wanted to have it removed. She's basically graped by the church. Okay, this is very, I know. And that's why I'm coming. But even with all that, I still give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I like the film. I like the film. I don't like the ending. I don't like what it's saying, and because they wouldn't do it with any other religion. But even with that, I could say 3.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not super religious, but if there are super religious people out there, I could see why they would not like this movie at all. And that's their prerogative. Me, I do have some issues with the ending, and I see what they're doing. It's kind of fucked up, but at the end of the day, I think that it was well made, and I like the gore. It's just the ending I have an issue with, and I could be fair and give it 3.5 out of 5 stars because I actually like the movie. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this film, Immaculate. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you not like what they were saying in the film? Because I know that's what they were saying. I haven't looked it up, but I'm positive. If I'm wrong, go in the comment section and tell me I'm a crazy idiot. Go ahead, go for it. But if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.